So, Gus, on that note, do you want to start with the lifestyle factors that you're going to be utilising?
Well,
to make sure
actually,
that you live a long
I'd like
life?
to start. You've just reminded me of something, Alfred.
Yes.
That I made you the man you are today.
Yeah.
No. Resilience.
No, don't fucking...
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Change
Let's
the
go
I've
in
been
with
researching.
resilience.
I've been
Don't change the
researching.
subject.
No, it's not. It's one of the things.
Go in with resilience.
It's one of the things I wanted to talk
Do your
about.
clients have any idea what you're like?
I think they're getting an understanding. I think they're getting an understanding.
Is it good for business?
It is very good for business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a pit bull you get from the shelter. Eventually, you grow to love the fact that it bites your kid.
This morning I was doing a bit bitey with some clients. The resilience side of things is interesting, right? Because I'm not advocating drinking alcohol, as a health thing, but finding ways to put resilience or be resilient in your life to overcome, that sort of that challenge. And for a lot of people, that's sort of training. For me, it's always been making sure that I get up the next day, regardless, of what I do the day before. And resilience is a skill that requires practice. Now, there's a bit of a joke here, but I'm actually not joking.
You've always been good at that.
Right, is that if you don't practice something and it's a skill-based thing, then you lose that capability. And when I hear people talk about, I can't do it like I used to, that's because you don't practice it. Now, I'm not advocating getting steaming and getting up the next day, but what I am advocating is if you choose to get steaming, which a lot of people, and certainly a lot of my clients do midweek, then get your ass out of bed, get into work, and especially get into the gym before you do that. And that has to be practiced. You're not, robustness is something, that you either have or you don't have. And I think 2 out of the 3 people, all of us in this room have some degree of robustness. But resilience is something that has to be trained. And most people train it in the gym because they don't enjoy training. We're very lucky. I think all 3 of us somewhat enjoy training, don't we? So we can practice that to some degree. But the effect that has on us is less and less because we adapt over time and we enjoy that.
It's just what we do in the end, isn't
Exactly,
it? It's just part of what we do.
So
That's the end goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it becomes what you do, the resilient side of things, is if you do it enough. So for clients, if they've gone out, gotten pissed, getting up the next day, getting in the gym, going to work.
that's the win.
Practice, yeah.
That's the win. That's the win. Doesn't matter what they do in the gym. Doesn't matter for me. I was thinking about this. I was like, me and him did. It wasn't Fran, was it? It was Murph. After that big night out in Malaga.
Yeah.
So
We were pretty hungover.
I pretty much did that
was
again
tough.
after it.
100 chin-ups. I mean, I couldn't do a set of 6 reps. It was a long chin-up session.
Long chin up session.
Lots and lots of sets.
Plus, I was lacquered in factor 50. I was oily and hungover and sweaty. But we got it done.
And we built the resilience, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We built the
I mean,
resilience.
it was, we
a
were
good
moaning.
feeling.
We were complaining. But there's an element of a discipline there that we've acquired over time. Definitely. Yeah. And I think alcohol definitely dampens just general resilience. People definitely go off track and then you won't hear from them for a week just because they've had a big Saturday night and then they've gone crazy on the Sunday and then that's it.
For me, that's about framework and reframing. The ability to get up and get on with stuff, everybody has that capability. Some people suffer a little bit more from hangovers, and depending on what you drink or whatever you take, but everybody has that ability to make the choice of whether to or whether not to. And it's about, if you choose to do that, for me and my guys, I'm like, if you do the crime, you got to do the time, which involves actually not making. You might not have the best session the next day, but not training because you've had as a result of having alcohol. If you've got it in the diary to do that, especially if someone's waiting on you, I'm just like, nah, that's non-integral, and your resilience just goes down and down and down. And to me, that's a metaphor for how your life is going to go in some ways, to some degree. It's not a great example to show in terms of,
it's just setting a standard for yourself,
So
I think is. But like you say, repetitions, man, and just putting in the work, and it does get easier over time. When I'm hungover, having a really sedentary day of just eating shit, I just don't think I could do that anyway. I mean, I'll probably have a slightly off-piste nutritional day if I'm a little bit hungover, maybe get a takeaway in the evening, but not moving and just all that crap, I haven't got time for that. But
Makes it 10 times worse as well. It can turn a 1-day hangover into a 2-day hangover. So when you've got pissed, go home the next day and you just sit in bed, vegetating, eating crap. The next day after that, you've just built an entire day's worth of proof that you are a person who will sit there and do nothing all day. So it makes it that much bit harder for you to then go back to your normal routine the next day.
I see that. Do you guys see that? Because you coach quite a bit in person still, Alfie, don't you?
Yeah.
So I really notice the trends of the gyms. It's slightly skewed because people work from home. Mondays and Fridays a lot now, like maybe both days. But you notice a lot of my clients when I was working in London, especially when I was working in Mayfair, try and get them booked in on a Monday would be like almost impossible. And they're maybe not caning it like we're talking about, but it would be like on a Saturday night, they'd have lots of wine, very affluent people. Sunday, they would probably have a bit of a lazy day and probably have a few drinks just to kind of get themselves through. And they've almost written off Monday. Yeah, they'll go to work and they probably have very stressful lives within work. So kudos, and they still perform to the level, hopefully. But they never want to train. I think that's twofold. I think it's what you're talking about. Sunday, they're kind of just almost wrapping on life and indulging a little bit too much. So then they feel they don't have the capability and they start again on Tuesday. And, and it's 52 weeks in the year? If they're only having 4 weeks holiday, that's 48 Mondays they're missing as potential. And that's massive, isn't it? When you're talking about compounding.
Yeah.
I always try and get clients. I mean, Monday's my favourite day to train. These days it's Sunday because it's a working day.
Yeah, I don't mind training. I just don't mind. Yeah, Monday's okay. Yeah, actually, do you know what? I think Monday's my least favourite because the commercial gym is always rammed. Monday.
You think Mondays are a bit?
Mondays is now my worst day to train.
5:30 p.m.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, and I only train in the morning anyway. Like
It's busy, is it?
Yeah, Monday morning's the worst. The best days are getting to the latter half of the week. Friday morning because everyone's been probably on the piss Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are the best days for me to train.
Is that because you live in
I think
a borough and people are working from home on a Monday, do you think?
I think the demographic is a little bit younger as well. I think I'm probably one of the older ones in there. And most people are younger
What would I
than
be?
me. I mean, fuck, you wouldn't even get membership, mate.
You're like,
They'd have you do
a heart rate strap on you.
They'd have you cleaning. They'd have you doing a health assessment before. Is this guy?
I want you to complete this park. You did one last time I was in. Yes, every time, sir. Every time.
Yeah, they've got special gyms for people like you.
I
don't know. Maybe. Well, if you think about like the percentage of people that actually exercise, it's so minimal anyway. So even though you feel like when you're in the gym and it's peak hours, you're like, like people are in shape. You're like, oh my God, everyone's in here. But actually, when you're walking around, I think that most people look like they don't really lift a huge amount in terms of weights and build a huge amount of muscle. People are probably fit and exercise a lot. So when you're in there anyway on those peak times, that's like such a small percentage of people.
No, that's the creme de la creme almost, isn't it?
Yeah, and we were talking about this the other week, me and Alfie. And because people ask us about motivation and all this kind of shit, and it's actually, do you know what? Lifting weights for 75% of the time is really fucking boring.
It's the most unentertaining thing you can do.
It's so boring. It is boring a lot of the time.
I think there's one more thing that's slightly more like boring is when people talk about lifting weights.
So periodization step.
What else are we gonna talk about? Well, we actually have got a list here of what we're going to talk about. But yeah, I think lifting weights for the best part is quite boring. I mean, I spice it up a little bit with maybe wearing a vest or maybe listening to a spicy podcast.
I really enjoyed the gamifying of it. So tracking training. For anyone else like this as well, is like just looking for those 2.5 to 5% increases. It just ticks my boxes so much.
Okay, James,
it's like looking for that, just like little bit.
Tell me what you think of this. This is how I track my training.
Oh, God.
Can you see that?
That's upsetting.
Can you see that?
I mean, it's more than I do.
That's even more upsetting.
All I track, I have all the muscle groups, and then I track the session kind of that I've done muscle by muscle group, and then I just track the set that I've done on that particular muscle group. So chest, it would be it'll just be like a strike for that. So when I go to do that next session, I'll just look at it and went, okay, I did that muscle group, that muscle group, that muscle group. I did 10 sets across those, and then that next session I'll just hit the other ones.
I suppose that's fine though. You're just tracking weekly volume using sets as a parameter, which is most accurate anyway. Yeah.
Frequency is an important thing for at least building muscle. We know that we need to hit our muscle groups minimum 2 times per week. 3 times is more optimal across. You're aiming for like for us more advanced 15 to 20 sets, maybe more across those muscle groups.
Depending.
That's a great way for me to do that. And then I just don't.
I think there's a few caveats for that though. There's definitely a few caveats. I mean, this is something that... So I've been running this challenge, as part of the sort of the business and getting people kind of used to it. So I've been setting, like, the challenge has been like 4 weeks long. You've got to track the amount of training sessions you do, 30 gram of protein meals, 8 hours in bed, and days you do over 12,000 steps, plus a guest habit. And that gives a lot of data sets. Now, there's a lot of people who actually, the guy who won it, it's a good friend of mine, he came to this league table. But like that, the caveat is, the nuance is, well, right, how good an exerciser is he? He might have done more exercise sessions. Now, when it's a beginner level, that's not really that relevant because the fact he's gone from 0 to 5 is brilliant, right? But for someone like you, which I know you train well, dude, we used to train together, but for everyone else, it's about quality over quantity after a certain threshold. And once you become like an intermediate to advanced lifter, which isn't actually that hard to do, it's just consistency, adherence, and frequency. It's about the quality of the work you do as opposed to the quantity of what you do, as long as there's a base level of work going in. You're the perfect example. You do good quality work, so as long as there's enough qualitative work, you're laughing all the way at the bank. I think the biggest issue with most people from intermediate, because most people that we work with are intermediate, or certainly with me. No one's a beginner for me as a general rule, right? It's about trying to ascertain the quality of the work they do. And there's, certain things that I use with my clients. Like I teach them like how to create ground force. teach like the principle of progressive overload, how to create, using that mnemonic SSI that sort of Ben Bukowski talks about. That, making sure that people have that in their mindset, then that sort of qualitative data is really, really important. And if you don't have that, the chances are you just spin on that hamster wheel time and time again. And it all, to me, this is just my personal thing, is I don't tell my clients to get fitter. I don't tell them to get stronger. I don't get them to get more muscle tissue. I just tell them to get better. Because if you get better, whatever your aim is, as long as it's targeted, you will get fitter, you will get stronger, and you will get more muscle tissue if it's deliberate what you're trying to do and you use that deliberate practice. And this is the thing that I see in global gyms all the time, is people are banging in those fucking, I'm just getting the reps in, mate. And you're like, you've got no understanding of really actually what you need to be doing to enable you to get there, let alone doing it consistently with deliberate practice. And like when my guys, don't show that, because I do a fair whack of work online with them, in terms of in-person sessions or online sessions to make sure they're doing that, I'm like, nah, that's why you're getting fucking nowhere.
In the process of becoming better. And that challenge is just such a framework. If most people could just follow that as a framework, the quality of their lives, and how much did the quality of their lives improve just doing?
Unbelievably so.
It's so basic. Just if you're not already doing 6,000 to 8,000 steps, try to do that. If you're not getting 7 hours sleep, just try to get 7 hours sleep. If you're not eating predominantly whole food, just give it a go for like a week. Like the 80-20 rule is pretty much like that, kind of works and kind of makes sense. And that's what I kind of think I say to my clients, like, have a cookie, have a meal out, do your thing. Just don't have 500 cookies this week and you're going to be fine, because nothing in isolation is going to impact anything. No. Just like one workout is, you're not going to get jacked from that. And just like one takeaway is, you're not just going to end up overweight from that.
Who was I listening to? Was it Alex from Morsey talking about this or something? It's like training is the only thing that gives you an insight into the future.
Oh, I've heard this, because you get that pump. You get the pump, so it's kind of like
that's actually fucking powerful, because if you eat a healthy meal, you don't get lean, or like calorically dense. Blah, blah, blah,
It's hard for clients that come to work with us, because they got to do 6 weeks of work and they come to us for physical change. That's like the primary mover, isn't it? Dropping body fat, getting in shape, even though they get 6 weeks into it and they're like, fucking hell, I feel so much better. This is what the real goal was. I'm running around my kids. This was what the real goal was. But they come for physical change, and no physical change is happening in the first 4 weeks unless they really shift some weight.
Or they do something so extreme, like, drop the carbs out of their diet completely, and they just drop like 4 kilos of glycogen because they're like, they've been.
I'm shredded, and then as soon as they eat 1 gram of carbs,
it's not continuing. I had a guy today just went to Beefer. All right, obviously had a fair old time in Beefer. He's like, I didn't eat. Are you
talking about yourself here, man?
No, I'm not talking about myself. All right, okay. I'm talking about.
This is me in third person.
Is it me in the third person? Okay, Marcus O'Donovan. Okay, you might have to cut that out. He's like, yeah. I got down to the lightest I've been. I got down to like, sub 91 or whatever it was. And
looking at your rib cage.
Dehydration via alcohol consumption.
And the rest. Go to Ibiza just to take alcohol.
I only slept for 7 hours, and I was like, all right, you're a little bit dehydrated, and you didn't eat anything for 3 days, and you partied. And he's just come back, and he's like, well, I'm at 93.8 kilos, Gus. And I was like, well, let me introduce you to glycogen storage, my friend.
I was talking to one of my sisters about that, actually. She was like, why is it that after I get like really pissed and I wake up the next day, I feel like I look really good. And I was like, there's actually a good reason for this. It's called dehydration.
And you only really look good from the neck down, the face when you're hungover. That tells
I mean,
you
that's standard for Alfie full time, but
Yeah,
I was about to say, dude, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the MMA is not doing your grid any good at all, dude.
no,
You still look actually quite handsome.
I do try the exfoliation of my face on another man's face and or nutsack. It's not doing me any favours.
well, it depends which way you look at it, really. Do you know what I mean?
I was just thinking, the camera's got your good side there. At least
Yeah,
you've got
it
that.
hasn't got the.
Oh man, are you not thinking?
I've seen that
Dude,
enough.
are you not, can you not like even that up a bit?
cauliflower
Do they
lug.
not just think this guy clearly wants to like tackle me on this side of the body?
Sometimes maybe they like that.
Like a blind side, yeah, like a flanker.
No, nothing.
Even those bad boys up, dude, because that
I've been
one,
trying on.
that's
this
definitely
side.
your beautiful side.
It's getting a bit thicker.
Yeah,
It's been gaining some mass. It's been following the hypertrophy
strict.
program.
Well, nice.
Strict rubbing against
some volume
That's
in
some
there.
volume and some ear curls.
Yeah.
I love a bit of ear curling.
10 by 10 ear curls.
Yeah. Shall I read some stuff out that we were actually going to talk about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Or you,
Go for it.
do you want to
no,
keep
it's
free balling
I
it?
think it's free balling's good, but let's have some like so. Just say the thing because we'll probably get a Do we get a transcript of this or not?
It depends if you're going to put your fingers in your wallet and actually
Whatever it costs, I'll pay.
anything.
It's fine. I'll pay. I've got my Google
He's
Gimbal.
good at talking about it. Well,
He's got his
It's good if it is transcripts. You just say the title and then we'll just discuss it.
well, we are obviously the beacon of health and fitness. So
Absolutely.
I guess maybe we just talk about health and fitness. Is that just too generic?
I think that's a bit generic.
Okay, all right. Hold on. I've got some stuff highlighted in blue. Fat loss,
Okay.
Yeah.
generic or
In regards to what?
hold on.
Let's
I
go
haven't.
fat loss through different
Hey,
categories.
hold on. I haven't finished yet.
Okay.
Fat loss, pitfalls to avoid.
Fat loss versus weight loss.
Hold on. I haven't finished.
Yeah. Let him.
What you should be focusing on, etc. That's what I've put.
Yeah.
And then how to improve health and fitness and strength. Obviously, I haven't really thought this through in a huge amount of depth at all, really. Nutrition. Also, I thought what would be a good topic is social media, because we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Because we're on it, even though we've got old Google Gimbal over there who's still trying to figure it out. Navigating Christmas and winter, we can talk about that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then me and Alfie talked about this on a shoot recently, but it is really starting to get on my nerves because I think I've just been listening to it for 10 years. And I think even my friends are always like, I'm so busy. Maybe we can talk about belief systems and being busy and what we tell ourselves.
And how much time it actually takes to get the results that you need and how it's.
I think that's a good one. I think that's a really good one, actually. Both the belief systems and what Alfie
Which
just
one
said.
would you like to start on?
Well, they're kind of intertwined, but I think let's talk about actually what you actually need to do and the time parameters of which it takes and how the distance between what people believe it takes as opposed to what it actually takes and how that changes over time.
What, dropping body fat, getting in shape?
Yeah. Let's talk about just being a healthy human. Okay.
Go for it then, mate. I'm not too sure.
Exercise commitments for people coming out of the gate if they are overweight, coming in, wanting to be healthier, maybe putting on some muscle tissue, is maybe 2 to 3 hours per week
Absolute
in
max.
the gym lifting.
Absolute max.
You can make so much progress. Full body 3 times a week. It's what I've got a lot of my guys on. You can make so much progress doing that. I would say up to like 90% of the progress you were going to make anyway. Because 5 sessions in the gym, if we're being realistic, if you're new to the gym, the quality of work isn't going to be there. You're probably going to be spending a lot of your time on your phone anyway.
No beginner needs to do 5 sessions.
I've got, this other session down the line in the week, so I'll just get it done then. 3 sessions a week, full body, hit all of your muscle groups, just making sure you're getting a decent amount of volume in to actually practice the movements. So it's not even the case of being like, all right, I'm going to go super hard today. It's just putting that work in of establishing you have repeatable technique. And then from there, you can start to push.
How much interval training are you combining or not doing with that? I mean, I'm not saying you have to. I'm just interested.
People should just be aiming to exercise 3 times a week.
Yeah, but
Ideally,
within that session.
If
So
they
if
can
you're
ideally
doing-
build some muscle, that's great. But like I work, just exercise 3 times a week. Doesn't even have to be 3 to 4 hours
10
for me.
minutes at the end.
Yeah,
to answer
I'm
your
with Alfie.
question.
I think it's really important to get some degree of interval training, some form of cardiovascular output each time you train.
Yeah,
And I think I'll tell you why I think that's important twofold. Because when people are low-level exercisers, when they come to weights, right, they don't necessarily understand that doing weights doesn't actually have to evoke a huge amount of sweat or being out of breath. And the satisfaction of doing some form of simplistic interval training, although they probably won't enjoy it, the satisfaction they gain at the end of the session, allows them to feel.
Fitness classes tick that box, right? That's why I try to get, especially for women, I think more than men, because it takes that thinking out of it. And most guys are in a gym lifting weights. Women typically are not. But going to fitness classes and booking those in are great because it just reduces decision fatigue. Sure, it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but you're going to build muscle if you go into that group environment and it's fun and people are training hard. So I think fitness classes are great for that. I mean, if you can...
Yeah, I think there's a few caveats for that, but I think...
as an average, as a broad, if I was just going to be okay, I don't know what the hell I'm doing in the gym. Are you a member of the gym? Yes, I'm not going. Have they got fitness classes? Yes. Have you tried them? No. Go and try them. Because they're more likely to do that than go into a weights room full of grunting men where it's an intimidating environment. Like some commercial gyms are fucking zoos.
Yeah. So when I get clients like that, I mean, we've all got clients who are a little bit intimidated about going to the gym with their male or their female, particularly the weights room. I'm always asking the question. It's hard, particularly if people are new to it. But for us, we probably base our gym choices. You don't have to because you work in the gym. Right? I base my gym choices based on community and where I feel most comfortable and where I enjoy going most. And the majority of those gyms will cost you more money. If you're in London, if it's a CrossFit box, if you're super into it, or something like the Foundry, it's probably going to cost you the good part of £200 a month, which for a lot of people means it's a massive investment. But if you end up going 3 times a week, it's the best investment you'll ever make. Right? Most people, I think, that I come across want to spend as little as they possibly can on that. And that, I think, is the biggest mistake that people make. Because the more that you spend on something, the more likely it is yours to use it. If you don't pay attention.
Yeah. You're way more invested in it psychologically as well.
And if you, to go back to what you were saying, Luke, the quality, I'm not a huge fan of fitness classes because the quality of which it's been driven is absolutely terrible as a general. It's getting better.
True. No, I agree. They are.
There are exceptions, there are exceptions.
Atrocious.
But the more that you pay for a gym, if you go to the Foundry, for example, which is a gym obviously in London, the several branches, or if you go to a CrossFit box, not everyone is great, but generally, the class dynamics are well put together, and they're also very including, with relatively low level skill within most of those, but very effective output. If you go to somewhere like a Fitness First or a Pure Gym, it's the quality of the exercise of which you're doing past a certain level. If you're a real beginner, great, it's a great step. But body pump after 8 weeks is fucking useless. Right, in my opinion.
Not if you want to become a consistent exerciser.
Yeah, but in terms of making physical gains, there's no fucking way. You're not getting it.
Everyone will reach a ceiling, and at some point, even we'll reach a ceiling in the gym training.
Yeah, exactly. And then we need to do the same as what those people would need to do, which is get the fuck out of body pump, or we need to change, increase the stimuli.
Variation principle.
Yeah. But we were going. What was the original question? The original question was what's the time frame between becoming a healthy person? What basically the answer to the question is, how do we get people becoming the most consistent versions of themselves with their nutrition, with their exercise, with their sleep, with whatever it might be?
Getting better. They just need to get better.
Becoming better.
Going to a class, if it's a low level class, like a spin class, like a body pump class, after 8 weeks, it's basically the gains are going to start to level out. So you got to think about, how do I get better? Where maybe I need to go to a different class, one that's going to be more challenging.
8 weeks is probably a bit short, but sure.
Well, maybe put some more weights on the bar,
exactly.
Maybe
push yourself another bit harder.
But I'm not just looking at body pump here. I'm just using that as an example. But other classes like body combat, that's got an 8 weeks. You ain't getting any better at that. The intensity is not going any higher.
Yeah.
All spin is probably the same as well, unless you've got a really good instructor. So they're wonderful things to have in addition to the base level, which is what Alfie was talking about. And I think someone is making sure that you're doing the 7 movement patterns, in terms of resistance, and some degree of working within the energy systems, within the aerobic and the anaerobic system, on basic intervals. And if you can incorporate that into a class, going to good gyms with good instructors, which they will do, perfect. If not, to me, after 8 weeks, I'm pulling all my clients away from like those classes, unless those classes can prove to me otherwise they're actually going to hit them. Because otherwise, they're just going there and they're not going to see any progress.
Yeah.
And that's so demotivating for people.
Progress from what perspective? Like building muscle and getting fitter?
Well, if someone's on a fat loss journey from like day 0, right? Okay, and we're taking them, say, like to 8 weeks, and they see progress, then from 8 weeks, okay, to 16 weeks, so they're not seeing anything on the scale move and they're not feeling any fitter or feeling any stronger. Right? That combination is so demotivating for many people, particularly females, because they're probably going to classes more. So when a client of mine is going to a class, I've got loads of clients who go to classes, but I'm like, go to that one, go to that one, go to that one. Don't go to that one, don't go to that one, don't go to that one. Because I know it. I've seen it a million times. I'm not saying they don't serve a purpose, but they're for beginner level exercisers or for people who just like going to the gym and they don't necessarily care about losing timber or gaining strength or getting fitter. They just like the social element and they're happy
And
where
getting
they
the sweat
are.
on, right? And just
Yeah. It's not bad for you.
Yeah.
It's just we're in the business again results, aren't we?
Yeah.
So those motherfucking things don't give you results. They don't, right? Not after a certain time.
I don't know.
I feel like it's very client dependent. And like, so like if we took the example of a client who was really committed and said, I want to look like X, Y, or Z in a year. And if they said, I'm going to start going to classes, I'd be like, okay, cool, great. But that's going to last you whatever amount of time we'll put on that. But the value that I would emphasize on that is you going to those classes, as we were talking about earlier, that pushing hard is going to teach you how to push physically, how to be uncomfortable, and how to be in those situations where you're like, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to carry on pushing. And then taking that mindset into the weights room as they get a bit more advanced.
That's the challenge, isn't it, for the coach to be able to get them to do that and build the confidence. Well, how do you do that, Luke?
In terms of what?
Well, people can get very comfortable. Like environment's everything, yeah. Right. So the environment drives you like 90% of the way. So if the environment is set, right, okay, the chances are like fucking Alfie just said, you probably going to places the pain cave, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So taking you to because people need to go to the pain cave if they want to see results. Okay, but that's irrespective of whatever you want to achieve.
It depends on the level. Again, it depends on the level of results that we're talking about. Do you need to get? Do you really? Do you need to go into the pain cave? Get
every
into
single
shape?
client. Yeah, you do.
I don't think you do.
No, but it's all relative to the individual. Whether that pain cave could be just having DOMs the next day. Pain cave could be like your eyes are bleeding. Okay, if you're like like we were training Alfie back in the day. It's all individual.
I mean, I've been in the pain cave.
I know you do.
It's a privilege to get in that.
Yeah, but like I think what Gus is saying is that the pain cave is relative to the person. So like if you've got, a 40-something-year-old client who's never exercised before in their life, going and doing body pump class.
That's the pain cave.
That is the pain cave.
Yeah.
Because it's actually quite painful, isn't it?
Yeah,
Body pump.
like I've absolutely ruined people in body pump classes. But like eventually those people, like I had a girl come to me after a legs, bumps and tums class.
Oh no, watch it. Hold on.
No,
Hold on.
no,
Yeah.
and she was
Chirps it away.
Yeah,
That is a sackable offence.
my girlfriend's watching. I love you. No, and then she came up to me and after the class, she like had a good class or whatever, and she was like, "Do you think I should be lifting like weights in the free weights area?" And I was like, 100% yes. Like you've got as many plates as you can fit on that little bar that they have in there, and you're smashing through this workout.
But the thing about the weights room is it doesn't have the nice colours.
Yeah, and also just to cover up, like I'm not some fitness class. Like
You're doing body combat.
I've never even done a fitness class. I've been to a couple of spin classes.
It's not true.
Right, and I
LBT,
liked them.
LCG.
I was just using as an example, and now you're painting me into this fitness class, legs, bums, and tums.
Mr. Pilates there.
Which I
Which I love, by the way.
yeah, me too. I mean, yeah, sure. I love a yoga session. I'm all about that life, but yeah, fine. All right.
I'd like to loop back round to the intervals quickly as well. As like on doing intervals and also building that work.
Explain what intervals are first.
Okay, so just short, intense bouts of exercise on whatever modality you are using that day.
For example?
So it could be the rowing machine. Please stop, I'm an adult now. No, so it could be the rowing machine, you're doing 30 on, 30 off. It could be the ski erg. It could be a Metcon kind of deal where you're slamming the ball, doing some sprints in between. Something short and sharp where you're getting very out of breath. For a lot of people, that is going to be the biggest thing in the initial part of your journey, which is going to make you tough enough to make the real wow change to your physique.
Yeah.
Because initially, you just aren't kinesthetically aware enough to push hard with weight. So you don't know how to move your body yet. Mm-hmm. We've all had clients in their Bambi stage when they first come into the gym. It feels weird to them.
That was you, mate.
Yeah, I know, exactly. That wasn't me too long ago. It's like elbows flaring out to one side and you're like, oh, could you tuck that in? And they have no idea their elbows out there. So just dealing with that initially, or doing it on your own will pay off in dividends.
Yeah, character building sessions.
Yes.
Yeah, they're character building sessions. And no one, you get on the ski erg and you're dusting it off. Like, they're just, that kit is not used in the gyms. No, people just don't do that kind of stuff, but they should be doing and going into those higher heart rate zones, not just because they're improving their cardiovascular output, but because it's character building. Get on that. Get that heart rate high, and put yourself into that uncomfortable position. Like, how much did we used to come off the rowing machine, like, in agony?
Death by
not that people need to,
not that people
need to train like that, but you're getting off the rowing machine, and it's like the pain in your arms is like nothing you've ever felt. But you
building resilience, though.
Yeah, I agree.
The ability to deal with discomfort.
There's a lot you can take.
It's such a transferable skill across the life when life starts to beat on you. You can draw back to that, particularly if you're practicing on a daily basis. You don't need to go in the pain cave every time. Like, I ask my clients, my formula is the 5-7-7-9. So 5 out of 10 session, which will be like a cardiovascular session or yoga. 7 out of 10 will be a mixture of weights, and interval training, generally finished by interval training, but sometimes started. And then 9 out of 10, is your eyes are bleeding, and it's a short session for 25 minutes, simple modality, prowler, aerodyne, slam balls, whatever it is. But pushing you to the point, where you don't want to be, and you really don't want to be. Because to me, that's the least important session. But in terms of the mental acquisition, that is the most important session.
Yeah. I mean, you can even get people stepping into like a 5K run and really pushing on that.
That could be the 9. That could be the 9.
Yeah. Like, you've done. Have you ever run?
Gus used to make me run. So fun story. We used to do park run when I was weighing 100 kilos. On the park run in the UK, which has the highest altitude of any park run, I'd be like
in London. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so it's on Hampstead Heath one.
Oh my god!
And I'd be running up this hill in the middle of summer, like obviously like overweight, like breathing out of my arse. And I've just got this Scottish man's knuckle in the middle of my back, and he's like, "Do not fucking walk. Do not fucking walk." It lives with me to this day, but it made me who I am today, and it gave me the ability to push. So I'm not going to say I'm grateful, because I don't like you as a person, but it definitely helped.
That's an interesting point. Okay, so all of us here have had exposure relatively early in our lives towards that style of overcoming like challenge and creating that sort of resilience. When clients come to you and they're in their 40s already and they've never had that experience, that is the hardest thing to actually impart upon them. A, the importance of it, but B, just the practicalities of actually saying, right, today you can expect to not enjoy this for about 50% of your time, but the results of which you get as a result of that will be significantly greater. People's understanding of discomfort, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? But even to this day, it surprises me. I live in Saudi now. It's a new level. There's a new level. When people go to this like discomfort, if you're doing a CrossFit session and it gets too hard, they make a phone call. And that's not a joke.
What do you mean?
They just phone someone and just say, no, I've got to take this phone call.
Oh,
mid-session.
Right, so they're just like...
Whereas, you know how people with clients...
Oh, they're backing out?
Yeah.
Like, they're just looking for excuses to get out?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, their culture's very different to ours, so it's not like...
Yeah.
I'm not portioning any blame or whatever, I'm just saying, geez Louise. But, when clients start to go and they try to stretch rest times, and like, rest times to me are not the most important variable, particularly when you're lifting weights, quality of work is. But when it's intervals, they're the fucking be-all, end-all, aren't they? Like, sticking to that motherfucker is really important.
It's just, I think that's why, I think as the three of us are quite good at that, having that level of empathy with people, because we've had it be part of like a big part of our life, exercise, training hard. I played a lot of sport, a lot of rugby. And I am so thankful that I was lucky enough just to have parents that introduced me to that. But we work with, how many clients have you worked with over the years that have not had that early exposure to exercise and fitness? And it must just be so hard. Like, we're trying to get people to go and lift weights, and we fucking find it boring most of the time. You've got someone that's never done it.
I know.
And probably, has also, going back to belief systems, how many people have you spoke to that say, I don't like exercise?
I don't like the gym.
I don't like, and that's fine. You don't have to like the gym, but there's like, you can enjoy some exercise, or you can at least enjoy the benefits it provides. Like, I don't massively enjoy running, but I'll run because I massively enjoy feeling fit, or at least I hate feeling unfit.
Yeah.
So there's like that push-pull going on. So it's not about like how much I love going to the gym and I love fitness and running. I actually love what I get from it, mentally, physically.
I'm with you, dude. I've never loved exercise. I just love being fit and what that facilitates for me.
Yeah.
So the thought of not being fit and the feeling of not being fit on the few occasions I have as an adult.
I felt it, right? I felt
shit,
it.
Man.
There's
It's absolutely
injuries,
shit.
and then you're starting again, and then you feel lethargic, and the composition of your body changes, and then you feel less confident, less comfortable. Like, fucking hell, this sucks.
But that could kind of segment in a little bit into kind of like what we were thinking about talking about in terms of like time off, Christmas. That, like, people, my experiences, and especially with like working more online now, like I've extended my program. I don't take anybody on unless it's a 6-month commitment now. Right? Simple. Like, okay, and the chances are it's going to take you 12 months, okay, as a minimal, to get to where you need to be and maintain it. We've all been through that. I'm sure we all that. But people like to work, and I don't think people actually even understand that. They like to work, from what I can see, okay, to like point A to point B. And like, there is no point B when it comes to exercise. Okay, it is, if you want to have a good life, you've got to do it for me. And they get to Christmas and they're like, I'll just take a month off. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
It also makes it so much harder to come back into it. The longer and more away from the path that you go, it makes it exponentially harder to then get back on the path. Like, even if it's little things, like say you're having Christmas with family in the middle of nowhere, there's no gyms, go for a walk, do something. Just like putting those votes in boxes of, saying to yourself that this is the kind of person who I am. I am the kind of person who, yes, I'm going to enjoy this Christmas dinner with my family, but I'm not going to sit on the sofa the entire day vegetating. Because then, as we said before, that turns into 2 days, because obviously Boxing Day there's leftovers. Oh, I'm just going to do it again. And then that turns into a week, into a month. And then when they come back into contact with us and they're like, oh, I've had a rough couple of weeks, I've completely come off the wagon. For you to then go from such a deficit where you've not only done none of the stuff that you needed to be doing to make the results that you wanted, you've gone completely the other direction. For you to then start building that back up and building that positive momentum, it makes it so much harder.
Yeah.
And like, I think me and Gus can definitely empathize with this a bit more, coming from being fat people, because we were both fat as teenagers.
Hold on, I was probably 93 kilos in my heaviest on my rugby days.
Try
I was
120.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, he looked like he'd eaten me.
But like knowing what it feels like to be in that state of like unhealthiness and then trying to build that up.
You were lucky that you had me to point out how fat you are, right? Because I didn't even have that as a kid. I didn't realize how much of a chub. I had to look at this picture back, and I was like, Jesus, I look like Phil Mitchell's love child. You know what I mean? I was like, whoa.
We were talking about this just before you
outside,
came here, actually.
really interesting
It's
topic.
Body fat percentage and people's delusion about it. So what I was talking about is, before we first met, before you came and knocked on my bedroom window to get me out of bed at 3 p.m, I remember being this like completely like medically obese guy, and I'd walk past the mirror shirtless, probably like cigarette in mouth or whatever, and I'd see the lines from where my rolls were like folded over the entire day because I was sitting there, that there. And I'd look at that line and I'd be like, oh yeah, I've kind of got abs, so I look okay, it's fine. Carry on doing what
You do go to, I do remember that myself.
Yeah.
I can remember walking down to work, right, and I had these, I was about to say breeks, right, Scottish word for trousers, and I was like, are they getting looser or are they getting tighter? I generally was in such a delusional state that I didn't know the answer to that question, and that, only about 3 weeks before that, I'd split a pair of trousers. So, I mean, the evidence was stacked in favor that I was getting I wasn't getting slimmer, let's put it that way.
Some timber was getting added.
Yeah, it's a tough. We were talking about this outside with when it can be a really tricky situational position to be in as a coach when you've got someone who started working with you with their primary objective to improve their health, but to lose weight.
Yeah.
And they've got to that point where they're hitting a bit of a plateau and they are giving you feedback around, I'm feeling good, I'm incorporating good habits, blah, 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 which is so important. Like that's one of the most important things is getting people feeling mentally better. But the weight's not moving at all, even though they're saying, oh, I'm feeling slimmer, clothes are fitting better. Yeah. There's a real fine balance with, that can happen. But when you're 30% plus body fat, like you've got body fat to lose. And you are definitely going to weigh less.
Not only for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah.
It's not a case of like you need veins running from your ankle to your chest.
Yeah, exactly. It's about just getting to a healthy weight, isn't it?
But that's the ice cube, isn't it? That's the James Clear ice cube. So the analogy.
Yeah. When it hits that point.
When it hits that point. So all the work that you're putting into that point, even though you're not seeing the scale diminish, like for me, when clients come to me, if clients are like severely overweight, you've actually in my head like. I remember learning this from Brian Walsh. It's like you've got to be very careful about dropping weight quickly because of the amount of toxins that you're going to be releasing into your body as a result. Because toxins are all stored in your subcutaneous fat. So if you're losing like 10 kilos in 4 weeks or 5 weeks, you're putting a lot of strain on your detoxification system. Like, okay, and you're going to see people like break out with spots. And like, I don't think about that too much because I don't have to deal with that many people.
It depends on how overweight someone is.
Yeah, very much.
What are the pros of losing that amount of weight? For people that are obese, like getting 10 kilos off them quite quickly is quite a beneficial thing.
Oh, absolutely, but they're going to feel like shit doing it sometimes.
Yeah,
like, that's the point I'm raising.
Yeah, I got you.
But most people, even if they're not losing weight and they're doing that and the ice cube is just waiting to melt, it's trying to remind people like you're not quite ready to get to the levels where you need to get to because you're at such a low level in terms of output movement. You're at such a low level in terms of input food. You're at such a low level in terms of output, in terms of training, because your competency is so low because they have never exercised in their life.
Yeah.
And you're so sleep deprived as a result of either medical stuff that's not going well, autoimmune conditions that perhaps they do or don't know they've got, or they're just sleep deprived from working in the city, boozing, like all that work, getting them ready to win. Because as soon as they start losing weight, from what I've experienced, maybe 5-6 weeks, they don't lose too much. And then all of a sudden they lose that first kilo, 2 kilos. And then it's just that steady state until they get down to 7-8 kilos to go to their perfect weight. Then that's a real fight. I don't know. Do you find that?
Yeah. Well, what the point I was making is how you manage people and how you manage people when they're feeding back to you that they're feeling good, but they're not losing any weight and they've still got a lot to lose. So it's like Alfie was saying, they're almost kind of kidding themselves. I don't know. What do you think?
And stuff it is going better, but it'd probably be helpful for us to put some form of easy to read, plate rule, but in regards to what you would look like if you were going to be experiencing health malignancies based on your body fat percentage. So for a guy, if you're above, let's say 25% body fat, you will probably be experiencing some form of negative effect from you being that overweight.
Which you may or may not be aware of, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. So
they might think that's normal.
You think 25% above that, so that's into unhealthy?
I would say
25%.
So, yeah.
15% is where I like clients to set as a general rule.
Yeah, I think I
think an easy way for people to conceptualize this is if you do not have any visible abdominal definition, you are 100% above 20% body fat.
You think?
I would say
above
so.
20%.
I think above 15. Because generally abs start to show, the top abs start to show from what I've seen in most guys, about 15%.
Unless you got a real thick set.
Girls, yeah.
Yeah, but
girls,
you're
I'd
pretty
say. I mean, it's quite... Everyone's different, aren't they? But I think the premise of what you're saying is bang on, Alfie. Yeah.
It's if you have gut overhang, you have weight to lose. If it's not trousers flush stomach, there's weight there to be lost. And it might not, as Gus said, it might not be things you realize. But as a bigger guy, sleep apnea is definitely a real thing. You're choking to death in your sleep and it will eventually kill you. that's something that like typically guys, especially with the neck mass, will be having, and they just think, oh, I snore.
Yeah.
Oh, I piss off my missus, I snore. It's not normal, and like it will fuck you up long term.
And do you know that's an interesting point, because the sleep apnea side of things and the people snoring, particularly for those who are overweight, is that like they will try and use different mediums, different pillows, different kind of like, you know, tape on their mouth, and I'm a big fan of all that stuff.
You're
But if you just lost a timber and got healthier, the
jumping
byproduct
over
is
dimes to pick up pennies.
I
It's
know,
like, come
it's
on.
absolutely mental.
Yeah, I mean, being chronically underslept, whether you're overweight or like working shitloads of stress, you're going to be pretty fucked. I mean, it's like I was saying around like things in isolation don't have a negative impact. Like you can probably get away with having like a cigarette and you're not going to get like lung cancer. It's like that. It's the repetition of things.
Yeah.
It's things that form
Dosage
your
defines the poison.
Yeah, exactly. It's things that you do as an average and as a pattern. And yeah, I think, oh man, I've not been sleeping massively well this week, and I don't really know why, but I am so disciplined with my sleep every single night. It's getting earlier.
How does that?
Which is really worrying.
I find
I actually I think that's why I'm sleeping so poorly. I woke up at like 1, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm awake."
I've
Needed a piss. That's the thing that happens with age. I'm not drinking any liquids after 6 p.m. now, and I'm going to pull it back to 5. Obviously, there's some fluid going in via.
That's early, man.
Yeah, but obviously, there's fluid going in via food. Like if I have some salad or some rice, there's fluid, there's water in that food. So I don't know.
What time are you going to bed?
Mate, well, I get in bed now like half 8, sometimes 15:15. So I might be getting in too early.
I think you are. I mean, I like to go to bed roughly that time.
I'm in bed reading, but
For all the
it's weird. I start the week better than I finish it. Like I'll sleep best Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then for some reason it just all goes to like,
What?
it just goes to pot.
Okay. So let's go into that then. All right. So falling asleep is no issue, yeah.
Falling asleep isn't the issue. It's waking up, and yeah, I'll wake up at like 1, and then I'll wait. If I wake up at 4, that's me done. I'm up.
Yeah.
And actually, do you know what?
Do you just feel awake, or do you actually? Is there things on your mind?
No, I don't think there's anything on my mind. Although I probably am massively unaware. Like a lot of that stuff, probably I don't know what's going on. No, I don't think so.
Because the elements of your brain that are working at that time in the morning
Yeah.
are very, very instinctively driven.
Yeah, I do.
So like, it's a primal instinct. So there are techniques which you can use to try and get yourself back to sleep, like active dreaming. I use that all the time. You think yourself to sleep because I wake up at the same time. So it's rather than like people thinking about, so when you wake up, potentially, just as a generic, a lot of people start to go down, the worry tree. So the work has to go, from those people, has to go into writing down, like 2-minute worries before they go to their bed, or even just setting out their day the next day. So their brain, their amygdala knows that they are then going to deal with that particular stress, as and when they get up, so it can kind of calm that down. But for people who struggle to fall asleep, or for people who wake up in the middle of the night, there's a technique called active dreaming. Like I've only just been reading about this, but I've been using it for years. Whereas a lot of people are told, don't think about stuff at night, right? That's the wrong thing for those people. You've got to think and almost try and create a dream and a story in my mind. And my brain goes, I just start thinking about things that are non-threatening. Now, obviously, it's hugely influenced. If it's before you go to bed, you don't want to be watching, Lord of the Rings or something that's going to be very evocative, violent.
PG,
And, I don't know the fucking... It wasn't Lord of the Rings. What's the fucking one? Game of Thrones. Well, I've got that one wrong.
or like the dog.
There's some cracking scenes in that program though that will definitely keep you awake.
Yeah, I mean, staying away from that kind of stimulation is definitely important, especially for people on their phones. And with Instagram Reels, TikTok, blah, 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 this
So
constant thing of
stimulating.
like button push, it's like pulling the lever at a casino. If you're doing that before you're going to bed, like you are setting yourself up.
They actually stopped the levers on the casino machines because it was too much of a barrier. That's why they brought the buttons in, because it's even easier
Just to hit the
to
button.
just do a button than pull the lever.
I've got Rory, what's his face in there, the marketing guy. Rory Sutherland, have you not seen
I know the name. Yeah, I know the name.
I had a conversation with a guy I used to train many moons ago in Tottenham Court Road Fitness First, and we've kind of reconnected on Insta. It's been cool. He's living in Germany, and I've been helping him a little bit kind of asleep. I just trying to get his routine a little bit better. And I was like, this is how much the world has fucking changed, right? I said, what is the biggest thing that's stopping you? Because he's not going to bed early enough, right? And I thought he was taking the piss when he gave me this answer. I generally did. And I was like, no, come on. It's like, internet shopping. I was like,
Oh God, yeah.
I was like, what? And he's like, and then I started to think,
What is he buying?
well,
Do you at some point?
I don't know. I just
Can't disclose
I didn't
that on the
like,
podcast.
I've bought, what else can I buy? I've got all the shit shirts. I've got all the
ironically
all the
stuff
vases.
on health, right? You know, so it's like
That is ironic.
yeah, it's massive, and about sleeping, a grounding mat, right? Okay, like, and you know the sleep mattress and stuff, I mean, which I all love. I'm like, just got a fucking bed, mate. Just got a fucking bed, yeah. Get fucking like, you know, you're mental. But I thought he was joking. But these things are becoming real problems, and I was like, I like doing a bit of shopping a little bit more than I've ever used to now, just because I've got a bit more dollar and I can spend it because there's nothing else to spend it on in Saudi. But I ain't staying up at night doing it. I don't call that entertainment.
Do it at the weekends.
I know. Listen, I'm with you, man. Like, I'm like you, dude. I'm like, I set an alarm to go to bed, right? But I don't need it.
But do you know what? I start yawning. Like, I know. If
I
we're watching.
hate to bring it to you, but that's a pretty universal thing, man.
Yeah,
right?
well, says the man setting an alarm to go to bed.
Just to
Come on,
make
dude.
sure, because the thing
Go
is,
like, oh,
no,
8:45, right?
No, because artificial light, can give you that false dichotomy. As soon as I lie down in bed, anything past 9 o'clock, I'm done. All right, in about 13 seconds.
Really?
I'm
Oh,
done.
That is such a ninja skill. I wish I could do that.
Just join the Royal
Sometimes.
Marines. It's not an issue. They teach you how to
Oh,
sleep.
that's real simple, low barrier to
Okay,
entry.
cool,
one.
yeah. If they're not even gonna
So
take me
everyone,
on
what
board.
you need to do is the hardest training course known to man for any military on the planet, and that will give you the ability to sleep. That's
It's also good for fat loss.
yeah.
It's funny though, isn't it? Like,
And mental health.
how do you get people? What's understanding people's resistance to things? Like when clients are snacking in the evening and they start a coaching program and start paying for it, but they keep on snacking in the evening. And I'm not just talking about like having a nice healthy snack, like still 1,000 calories in an hour in front of the TV. Like, what's your resist? Like, come on, what's going on here?
What do you think? So, okay.
We could understand that, man. I
Well,
mean,
actually, I tried to. That's funny you said that, right? Because I went to Stevie Sainsbury's last night, right, to get a few bits and bobs after I'd had scran. And I was pretty toppers from the scran. I wasn't needing any more food. And I'd had my standard. It was just some rice, some meat, some veggies. And I fucking love that shit. You know what I mean?
Same.
It's perfect in Saudi because that's all they serve. But when I went there to get some stuff, you know, for today. And I was like, I found myself at the fucking fridge looking at those protein yogurts, and then I went down to the fucking, like, I wonder if I've got any Halo Top. I could have some Halo Top. And in the end, I was like, listen, you fat cunt. Right? No more.
what is
right?
it with? I'm saying, what is with that?
I don't know.
Even me.
Do you know what I put it down to? Is because I was tired. And I was like, yeah, I remember this feeling. But
You should be tired at that time of day.
well, here we go, right? So this is, right? So, you know, I've been doing like the sort of the chimp paradox stuff a lot. So it's your orbital frontal cortex, apparently, right? This part of the brain that gets super fucking excited by lots and lots of stimuli and different change. So when you go to a supermarket, particularly if you go at night, okay, and you're toppers and you've got all the...
What do you mean by toppers?
Full.
Okay.
Right? So when you go to a supermarket and there's all these things in front of you that you wouldn't normally consider, you start to consider them because you're not bored by them. So when it comes to like losing weight, and like whenever I say this to people, they think I'm absolutely mental, especially as someone who's got a nutrition degree. I'm like, variety is not the spice of life. Do not have variety in your diet at all.
No.
Have a variety within the vegetable intake you take to some degree and the protein sources you have. But eat the same 3 meals, okay? You have 3 meals for breakfast, 3 meals for lunch, and 3 meals for evening meal, and then 10% of the time have what you want. Because if you have too much variety in your diet, regardless of how full you are, you will overconsume. It's like having a separate stomach, okay, for pudding,
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
And like,
Guaranteed.
this is a really important point. And like, I said this to my cousin's girlfriend the other day, and she's like, you've just taken all the joy out of food, Gus. And I was like, you're not overweight, babe. Right? All these people, if you walk around, 60% of people are now overweight, okay? And a lot of them are obese because there's too much choice wherever you go to any place. So you got to eat the same shit 90% of the time and take the joy out of food. This is what people did in the 70s and all the decades before that. Because there was no fucking choice.
Choice was limited and
Environment
availability.
is fucking everything.
Yeah, control the environment or it'll control you.
The easiest way of doing that is meal prepping.
Yeah, definitely.
Meal prep
or getting someone else
Especially
to do your
meal
meal prepping.
prepping for when you're in the office.
If
you've
you've
got
got
that,
financial resources. But even for myself, like on a Sunday, last thing I want to do, meal prep. Do I do it every Sunday? Yes, because it just sets me up for 4 or 5 days where I have excuse-free meals.
It reduces poor choices.
And decision fatigue. Yeah.
Definitely.
And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to track it. So like, say if you've plugged it in as a meal to MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, whatever app you're using, if you've made that meal a week in advance, you don't have to track the individual ingredients.
Because you know exactly what's in there, don't you?
You've just saved yourself some time. You've just saved yourself a bad decision. And also, if you know you like it and you know it's like filling, you don't have to be like, oh, is this going to be enough? Is this going to, like, am I going to feel okay after eating this? Like, set your options out. Spend a couple of weeks figuring out what are good options for you, which will probably be some form of starch, a lot of vegetables, and then a protein source of your choice. Maybe some fat in there in the forms of a fatty vegetable, avocado, whatever. Get some more food volume in there. But once that's set out, it just makes life so much easier to just...
Okay, so here's a question. I've always seen life through those lenses, even when I was a tubster. I did. I always get in terms of scrambles. I like food. The variety of food of which I consume is minimal. I get enough variety to get enough of the nutrient base.
Yeah, I can be pretty basic with food and enjoy it.
I think it's actually a superpower to enjoy the same type of food time and time and time again. Cheese and ham sandwiches, okay, with either pickled onions or tomatoes, okay, I did for 10 years, right? I honestly, my dad will be like, if he ever sees this, he'll be like, fucking, I remember that. Like, every time I went to the building site, he'd be like, what have you got today? Cheese and ham and tomato or cheese and ham and pickled onions? I was like, sometimes I put the two together, rarely. But it's when people are sort of like, especially in London, right, and places like London, I think it's it's quite a challenging discussion to have. But I'm like, you are having that kind of level of different foods. A lot of people are having that to disguise away from the lives they've got. Because they're so tired, they're so overworked, they're so stressed, they're finding joy in things like food. Right? I mean, you've got a very food-centric community like London provides. Like,
just anywhere, really. Not just almost anywhere.
Well, anywhere, the UK. Like, if anywhere. You go to like...
not even the UK, anywhere.
Yeah, I guess you're right, actually.
Anywhere.
But London is particularly right because they've got money and they've got access to all these restaurants. Yeah. Or they've got access to a lot of deliveries. Like, you wouldn't get people where I'm from going to any of the restaurants here. Like, they just wouldn't have the cash. They'd still eat shite food and caloric food. But they would generally have a more structured diet and they would eat at home more. Okay, they just overeat at home.
Yeah.
When you've got money and when you've got lots of choice, I think that's a problem. But also when people are when they're overtired and they're not sleeping particularly well.
It's such a vicious cycle.
Because you reach for it, like me in Sainsbury's. I was like, why am I at the fucking freezer again looking at Halo Top and I really want Ben & Jerry's, Halo Top, Ben & Jerry's. Get out of here.
Have you heard of like the term an obesogenic environment?
Yeah.
That's basically what we live in.
We do.
And people will say, I've heard people say it's never been easier to be healthier. It's never been easier to not. And food availability, the types of food that are available, it's really fucking tasty. It's super affordable. You don't like where I live, I can walk to McDonald's in 5 minutes. I will walk home and see McDonald's being delivered on my road, and you can walk to it in 5 minutes. I mean, I don't eat that stuff.
Should we talk about mechanisms of...
No, that already sounds too complicated.
No.
Do you know what's an interesting one on McDonald's, right? I spoke to a client of mine yesterday. They're now investing in prep kitchens, so they don't even make them in the restaurants. That's how busy they're getting in terms of people getting delivered to their house. And they never used to deliver McDonald's.
Oh, right, they don't deliver them from the actual McDonald's?
Yeah. And like the majority of like things like Deliveroo, they're actually buying up kitchen units on like industrial like that. And like anybody who wants to use Deliveroo as their service provider.
Maybe we should start like a side business, like a healthy... Is that that's already out there, isn't it?
It's mental. Anyway, that's enough.
I was going to say, what would you suggest to a fat loss client who is going through that on a regular basis, other than just being like, stop doing it? What would you suggest for them to get away from that cycle and make their lifestyle and environment less obesogenic?
That is a great question.
So I'd say big things. One, food delivery services on your phone, delete them now. Just giving yourself that barrier to entry where it's like, in order for you to then order that food, you have to then download an app, and it puts that little step in there where you have to think again and be like, oh,
Create some
do
friction.
I want this?
Yeah.
Meal prep is definitely another big one. Doing a big shop full of foods that you know you enjoy and are conducive to the diet you're trying to follow on the weekend, so they're in your fridge throughout the week, so you don't have to visit the Sainsbury's like Gus did and look at Halo Tops at 10 p.m. or whatever.
Well, Halo Top's a fantastic option in
It's not. It's a lot more caloric than yogurt, though, mate. A protein yogurt. And
Yeah.
like, and
Well,
if I see Halo Top,
yeah,
what am I actually
why
buying?
would it's
I
different.
think you're over-indexing.
This
on
is
the
a different
Halo
meal.
Top.
I would go for a Halo Top if it was like a treat, because I don't eat any.
But I
ice
didn't need
cream.
it, mate. I didn't need it at all. It was full. It was toppers.
He doesn't need it.
You use toppers.
That's toppers.
You use toppers. Yeah, sorry, mate. Carry on. Well,
Yeah,
you're
so-
on a roll.
Yeah, so I was just talking about other things that you would suggest to clients to make that environment better. Not having fucking snacks in the house. I know I'm the kind of person where if there's, for me, I'm a big bread person. That's my thing that I would I like to snack on. I just don't buy bread. If it's in the house, I'm going to eat a lot of it.
100%.
Like a nice bit of sourdough covered in butter
Yeah.
is just going to take me way above my deficit.
Is that your
because-
thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Bit of a boring guy. But just not having those things in your house and being able to recognize that, because a lot of the sort of if it fits your macros community and all of these people who have all, where they're like, oh, you can eat this on your diet plan and it's this taco cheese bowl with like 75 different ingredients. Just having
Trigger
access
foods.
to that.
Yeah, your environment
Trigger
is
food
everything.
is too much for me. For a while, when you were coaching me, protein porridge was too much of a trigger food for me, so I had to get rid of it.
Porridge is a secret one for me as well, because I will have porridge because I know I can make it super tasty, so I'll overeat it,
That's
because I'll
my
add
issue,
peanut butter
yeah.
and jam to it. So it's not the porridge that I'll overeat. It's the things I know I can put with it that will make it
Yeah,
even
you
more
can turn a
palatable.
bowl of porridge into 1,000 calories.
And it'd be so, like almost like a dessert.
Back in the day, I discovered, this is like between 2010 2014, I was consuming 2,000 calories before 9 a.m. by having porridge with a big spoon of coconut oil in it and protein powder.
would you-
Because everyone's going through like, the
What?
thing there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you've
that
got
is
it
crazy.
protein,
I'm
saturated
Then I'd have a
fat.
bag of cashew nuts, not 30 grams. Okay,
bag.
95.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
was like,
God.
85 grams of cashews, that's in.
Covered in
also,
chocolate.
the bed.
Covered in
Fat loss
chocolate.
people, Gus will attest to me on this one. Snacking on supposedly healthy foods like nuts is going to take you off your diet by
Fucking
a
mental if you do
massive
that.
margin.
Nature's candy.
Yeah, so
Yeah, especially when people are probably trying really hard already to drop body fat, like they're creating that calorie deficit.
Protein in there.
And then they're like consuming hundreds and hundreds of calories without probably knowing
Yeah,
through
it's
just
just
having
like
like
they're trying to do
cashews
the
or
right
olive
thing,
oil.
yeah.
I know
It's right.
it's a killer.
Yeah,
that's what's great about having someone like a coach who knows what they're doing to be able to point out these things. Try to look at how you can reduce dietary fat in your diet, because no
that's-
one's going to undereat
and how
it.
foods can be healthy for you, but you can also be fat whilst eating.
Yeah, I'm a prime example of that.
Yeah.
Like I don't eat much processed food at all,
Yeah.
but I will overeat things like oats, yogurt, 0%. Yeah, it's processed. I'll overeat things like that. If I was
Overeating on 0% yogurt.
no, like
Right.
Big
Challenge,
effort.
no. You know what I mean? As part of my like 3 meals per
Glucose
day, and then
must be damned.
I'll have like a cheeky yogurt with some peanut butter. So, dude, I am going
Yeah,
back to
but
what
here,
you said.
okay, so here's the thing. So Alfie says, okay, a nice bit of sourdough and okay, a bit of butter. Who doesn't like that? Okay, if you don't like that, don't
Salt.
follow me.
Some salt.
Don't, yeah, obviously, mate, obviously.
Well, the butter's salted.
But
It's
you're saying your
expensive.
yogurt
Then
and your
more
peanut
salt on
butter.
top of that.
The problem is not the carbohydrates. Everyone has demonized carbohydrates. The problem is the fats. Okay, and this is going back to like to the 80s when people were demonizing fat because they said cholesterol gives you like heart attacks. Okay, saturated fat's all the bad thing. Fat is the problem for most people.
Yeah,
People
it's too easy
overconsume
to
calories.
consume.
Okay, peanut butter, all these things. If you're in a fat loss phase,
I don't
you
think so.
need a small amount of fat that will be attached to the protein stores. I'm not saying you have to adhere to this. I'm just saying, okay, on a sort of nutrient intake level, fat in terms of volume on the plate is about one thumb. That's all you fucking need.
Yeah.
And people overconsume it by cooking too much in it. Or by adding it to things that they don't need to do. And we all add fat to things because it adds flavor to things.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I always say to clients is not every fucking meal needs to be a fucking banquet. Yeah? Right? 5 to 7 out of 10 on the taste scale.
So the food volume is so much lower. Like with fats, like any form of fat source, in order for you to eat enough volume of food to feel full purely from like a stomach space perspective, is you're going to be so over it. Like imagine trying to eat a meal of fat in the volume that you would have your normal.
What would it just be? Cashews and avocado and a pint of olive oil.
Yeah, and you would have just consumed 7,000 calories in a sitting.
Or but like
Lean protein, dietary fiber, and carbohydrates. Yeah. Potatoes, rice, and
like,
pasta.
when people withdraw
potentially.
carbohydrates, I'm like, it's depletion, replenish, depletion, replenish. If you're training regularly, okay, you're using majority of your training sessions should be utilizing sugar to fuel them, carbohydrates. So when people start to remove carbohydrates from their diet, okay, and they start exercising for the first time either in a long time or the first time ever, and they're like, I fucking hate exercise. No wonder. You've got no fuel for the exercise of which you're doing. It is effective a medium, obviously, for like reducing weight and particularly body fat if you can handle it. But I can't handle that for that long, and I'm pretty fucking resilient, and I've been doing this a long time, and I'm talking, and the same with you guys. You've got to have carbohydrates in your diet. At least one meal has to have a decent amount of starch. In my sort of eyes, the ideal is to get every meal to have roughly about the same amount of starch. But that takes you to get to a certain level of body fat and a certain level of weight, right?
I also think it's super important for filling people up and filling satiated.
yeah. And
Like
just-
rice is quite filling.
Fucking right. No one
Oats
gets...
are quite filling unless it comes with peanut butter and loads of jam.
Yeah.
And
It's
stuff
still
like
pretty
that.
filling then. It's just that you can overeat them.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to kind of know yourself. Like Alfie was saying, I'm pretty ninja at not bringing stuff in. Like I'm pretty ninja on my food shop. I've been left in the wake of a whole box of granola and 5 litres of milk too many times.
Granola was a big thing for you back.
Yeah, granola was my kryptonite. Anything really. Like I'll eat anything, cookies, anything. Like a pack of hobnobs easily.
So,
I just do. I
but you got to
will
choose.
never buy it.
I don't.
Ever.
So for me, like snacking's okay for kids, athletes, and fat people.
I was walking around the supermarket yesterday and I saw some chocolate digestives, and I looked at them and I felt sad. I was like, I wish I could
have them.
I honestly thought that. And I felt
You do.
quite sad.
Biscuits are great, but biscuits are for when you go to your granny's house, okay, when you're a kid, right? You don't need them, yeah?
What about if you don't have grandparents?
Well, I don't have grandparents, okay?
So
They're
what
all
do you
deep
do for
me in
biscuits?
right? Okay, right?
What do you do for biscuits now?
I don't have them, mate.
Me too. That's
They're
so
for kids.
sad. That makes me feel sad.
Yeah, it makes me feel sad too. But the thing is that like snacking is something, okay, that's been marketed to us and we don't need it. Only thing people who need to grow or recover, okay, need that additional fuel.
I do say that to clients.
Athletes, kids, fatties. If you're not a kid and you're not an athlete, okay, and you're eating snacks, the chances are you're a fatty unless you're very lucky with your metabolism. Now, the easiest way to get your calories down is to stop eating shit that you don't need. And snacks is one of those motherfucking things, by definition.
You are dead set on snacking. High protein snacking is the way to go because it will keep you fuller, and it's much harder to overeat on protein than it is on any other macro.
Apart from whey protein.
And this is
'Cause
another.
whey protein spikes your blood sugar like there's no tomorrow.
Whey protein is pretty digestible as a protein.
Yeah, but
source.
you're not
It's
gonna-
pretty-
50% of people can't digest it.
You're not going to.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Protein as a snack. I'm talking about like a decent beef jerky brand. or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
with
okay.
This
like
is another thing
add-
that I haven't. Sorry, this is another thing that, and I want your opinion on it a lot. I haven't seen this spoken about much at all. People thinking that they're hitting their protein target when they're eating protein bagels, protein puddings,
Fucking hell.
protein
Bagels, good
like
gluten.
protein powder. Like, guy, you're not hitting your protein if you think like this is protein.
If you are currently tracking, what you should do is track all of your animal-based sources of protein first, and if that doesn't comprise 90%,
What happens if you're a vegetarian?
eat more eggs. Well, whatever your protein sources are, then your pea protein, whatever you may be using as a vegetarian,
Just eat
it's
tofu,
It's
please.
a bit more complicated. I use an app called Chronometer, which actually tells you.
He's an investor in the company, FYI.
It tells you your amino acid balance. So if you are a vegetarian, I'd suggest.
People don't need to know that level though. They just need
Well,
to
if
know
you're a
that.
vegetarian, you do, because
So-
if you're extremely
Maybe.
lacking in like one amino acid as opposed to others,
Go
I-
and get your bloods done.
I think with so to go into vegetarian and vegan kind of clients or people, they're obviously I think they have to understand the context that protein is not just protein. So if you're training, you're trying to get muscle tissue because you're trying to increase your metabolic rate, so your metabolism rises, and you're trying to lose fat. then the single most important thing, is getting the essential amino acids in your body. And they generally come from animal sources, or you have to be clever. So if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, particularly if you're a vegan, taking on board some essential amino acids as a supplement, which they can taste pretty nice, and you can just have them in the morning really quickly, I think that's a win, a really easy win. In addition...
You recommend amino acids?
100%, yeah.
Not if you eat meat, though.
No, if you eat meat, you don't need to. You don't need to.
Okay.
Unless you're training a lot, all right? Because
I actually generally thought amino acids were a little bit of like a fad. As
essential amino acids, it's basically protein, but it's just the essential amino acids. They're a lot easier to digest.
Okay.
Whey protein, obviously, is very challenging to digest. When they extract the amino acids from that, it's a lot easier to digest.
Right.
Whey protein, shoot your blood sugar, the same as white bread, almost the same. So if you drink that in isolation, and they want to have that effect because they want your blood sugar high so they can shunt the protein, the carbohydrate in the cell post-training. But if you're not digesting that, no bueno, right? Okay, and you can get like problems down the line, right? So essential amino acids to make sure you tick all those boxes, because ultimately, if you're trying to build muscle tissue, it's leucine threshold. Now, I know this seems a bit too advanced for clients, but clients need to know this, especially if they're vegan or vegetarian, because they can be taken upon tryptophan or glycine, which is wonderful like for structure or wonderful for like neurotransmitters. But if their number one game is to try and gain some muscle fucking tissue, then they need to know if they're actually getting their 5 grams of leucine a day. And if you're a non-meat eater, then your chances go down. If you're a non-animal food eater and you're not having dairy or tofu, but particularly dairy, you've got basically no chance unless you're supplementing. And then you're starting to like, well, why am I not recovering? Why am I not gaining muscle tissue? Why am I getting skinny fat? Why am I feeling like shit? Because those essential amino acids are broken down into conditionally essential amino acids, and they facilitate all the movements, all the signaling molecules, and that is preferentiated way, way, way more in advance of muscle tissue. All right, so it's really important, this shit. You can make it simple as the coach and say, have this essential amino acids, this is the reason why, all right? Or if you're willing to eat animal-based products, have some cottage cheese, or like other vegetarian sources that are particularly good, like dairy, other forms of dairy.
Yeah, another fantastic form of protein, I think, dairy.
Yeah,
love it. Especially with a pack of
second most overconsumed thing within our diet. So people start to build up intolerance towards it, and that is problematic. Second to that, obviously, is like gliadin or gluten, isn't it? Like when people, I eat a fucking ton of gluten. Doesn't seem to have too much of an effect upon me.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
But if I have too much dairy, and a lot of people have too much dairy, look at people's skin consuming a lot of dairy. It's no bueno. No bueno. And if they're on a fat loss journey and they're freaking spilling out toxins from subcutaneous fat, going through the skin, and they're tired, it can be a bit of a problem. A bit of a problem.
Good.
That was good.
I didn't really. I think that went all over my head. No, it's good. It's fair. It's helping people with the underlying behavior more than anything. Especially for proteins. Just try to have a variety of different protein sources. You don't need to tell them necessarily about the leucine and the amino acid spectrum of whatever.
No, but if you're vegan or vegetarian,
you do need to know it.
Yeah, if they are plant based, then there's going to be definitely some. I think there's going to be some deficiencies there.
Insufficiencies.
But a lot of people that are probably plant based, I don't know. I might be really, really wrong here. Are probably going to be quite defensive of that.
Well, okay. So here's how I counter that. I don't know.
This is good.
This ties into the longevity side of things. So the 4 markers, for longevity, we know them?
No.
Okay, so 4 markers of longevity.
Of course we don't know them because he just makes them up.
No.
Like there.
So VO2 max, yeah? All right, so VO2 max, the volume of oxygen consumed to maintain aerobic output. Now, it's interesting for VO2 max because everybody thinks VO2 max is about your ability to continue to do aerobic work. But for longevity purposes, it's actually about you getting up the fucking stairs and not being in the chair. Because if your VO2 max is so low, right, that you don't do any aerobic work, getting out of the chair to go to the toilet takes you into the anaerobic fucking zone. So doing low level, level 2 or zone 2 work is so important. Now, for us here, zone 2 is probably going to be, I don't know, a 5K, right? Okay, relatively, you can have a chat. That's the way I say it. I say, make sure you can have a conversation, probably don't want to. For older people, it's just going to be making sure they're mobile all the time. And as people get older, they get more sedentary, and hence why they get more fat, and obviously atrophy kicks in. So VO2 max, is the first one, and that's the biggest killer. people think it's atrophy, like, okay, which they get atrophy because the VO2 max is so low because they can't get out of the fucking chair.
Right. So there's more resistance to doing more things.
Exactly. It's not that they can
know they're going to get tired.
Old people can keep muscle tissue as well as middle-aged people. You can grow muscle tissue at 70 as well as you can at 40, right? It's just you don't have the VO2 max to be able to do that. So you've got to keep at it. And resistance-based training and cardiovascular-based training gets more important as you get older. The second one, on terms of that, is leg strength, yeah? All right, so because when people get older, past 60, if you break your hip past 60, right, you've probably got 5 years left, right? Because the casket, it's fucking really sad, isn't it?
Is that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
really.
I mean, that's across because there's it depends where you are in the world, right? But as a general rule, so you need good leg strength, right? Okay.
Well, it's awesome resilience or better agility.
We'll come to that.
To be able to not, because falls are obviously one of the biggest killers.
The leg strength is just one part of it. So if you're going a fall, you need good leg strength. You need good foot speed to be able to react. And people, what do people do, from like age 22 to age 60 when they retire? They sit on their fucking arse and they don't do any SEQ work like we used to do.
You sit on your arse for the point you go into like school.
Well, exactly. But at school, at least you're doing some form of sport probably, or what we were anyway. And you're moving around the playground, left and right, rotation, that sort of stuff. So there's no. And the last proxy measure is grip strength. Right? Now, grip strength is a proxy measure towards overall sort of muscle mass of which you have. And unless you do resistance-based training, you're going to lose the majority of your muscle mass. Now, when you live within today's environment in the rat race, muscle tissue is the antidote to the rat race. It'd be much better to take yourself out, go to the blue zone, just do cardiovascular work, and enough manual labor to enable you to maintain enough muscle mass. But none of us are doing that.
No.
So muscle mass fights off, all the toxins that we choose to live in. Hence why grip strength is a proxy measure of your overall muscle mass. So hence why people need to go to the gym. And if people turn around and say, I don't like the gym. Well, do you like sitting in a chair pissing yourself? Because that's what your future's about. Because it's not about longevity.
I can imagine you saying that to people.
It's about health span.
I love that.
So stop being a prick, right? And just get over the fact, the magic you seek is what? In the work you're avoiding. I don't like the gym. Tough shit. Get to the fucking gym. Come on. This is your life. This is the quality of life you're going to have with your kids, your grandkids. It's really fucking important. Forget about what you look like in the mirror. If you do all the stuff, you'll feel great, and the byproduct is you'll look great.
Yeah.
And the really important thing is, you've got to serve the people you care for most. And by being fat and concentrating on your career, and forgetting about and saying, I'm too busy to exercise, you think you're being altruistic, and helping everybody else out, but really what you're doing is doing them a disservice. Get to the gym, work on yourself so you can be your best self for everybody else, from the day you turn 40 all the way to till 90 when I die.
Ben posted a good thing about that the other day. It was
Ben Jennings?
Yeah, he
posted a good thing. The social media expert that is Ben Jennings.
Yeah.
Go on, Ben.
No, it was about dads and how they always say, I'd die for my kids.
Yeah.
And it was this guy saying, would you live for them? And it's probably a very important thing for dads to be, is you have this being which is now going to be relying on you, and you actually need to be able to pick it up and run around with it. Say something happens, blah, blah, blah. There was that video which went viral of this, it was a man or woman whose kid was in the stroller and the stroller rolled away, but the parent wasn't physically able to run and catch the stroller.
Where were you born, Alfie? I love your sneakers.
Pram.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Whatever.
What?
Buggy. We call it a buggy.
All right, buggy.
I call it a pram.
Pram is a
Let's get back on. Anyway, let's get back on. Jeez.
The point being is that this is something which is super important, not only for people who are in their 40s, but also people who have anyone relying on them or plan to have someone.
Very much so. And that applies to people when you're in your 60s and 70s, because you're probably the primary care provider.
Especially now people are having kids later.
Yeah. And my mate's just had a burn. And he's like, his dad's
child in Scottish.
Okay, right.
There's no children in Scotland, by the way.
His dad's in his 80s, and he's a perfect example of an absolute legend. He's just demolished his house. 80-year-old guy's demolished his house because he wants to rebuild, because he's like, well, I want to have a good future. You got to think about that, right? Because Peter, and his dad Peter, they're thinking about, I want to be a good grandparent to his kid, because his kid's is only walking around. He wants to have a good 10 years of that. It's fucking cool. But how many 8-year-olds do you know who are fucked?
Yeah.
Most of the people, when I go home to Scotland, I'm like, I think they're 80. They're actually 50. Like, I'm not joking.
And that's not the Scottish winters.
No, it's not the Scottish diet and the lack of it.
Well, I've got something that I say because I work with a lot of Scottish, and it's like it's the 3 T's: tatties, techno, and tetleys. Is it tetleys? They
Tenants.
Love? Tenants. That's it.
Tenants.
Yeah, I love it. Tatties, tenants, and techno. They bloody love it.
You could add a fourth one in, Toby. That'd be the one for the girls or the gay guys.
What's that, Toby?
Toby's your penis.
Short
I love a bit of Toby.
A bit of Toby.
A booby or a bit of Toby.
Yeah.
Super important thing to think about, though, for everyone is just the physical resilient stuff. I feel like, especially in the day and age that we live in, people see the sort of bravado gym culture of like, oh, I'm ready for anything. Like, it is a bit cringe and it is a bit overblown. But genuinely, if you are physically incapable, if a situation that demands it comes at you, you will not be ready.
Exactly, man. Like, that's why combat sports are so good.
Yeah.
Like, it takes the fear factor to some degree away, but it also builds your resilience because you've got to continuously go back. You know, like, I mean, I've done a little bit of BJJ. It's terrifying every time you go in that dojo, isn't it? Like, because you're like, fucking hell. Like,
you get comfortable in those situations because it's like, okay, whatever, 4 times a week I've got a bloke trying to, snap my arm in half. So when the homeless guy's shouting at me at the train station, I'm much more like calm and collected about it.
And the gym is the same advantage that to some degree. It's building your resilience, isn't it?
For everyday situations, it's like, your car breaks down and you need to fucking change the tyre on the thing. You're too weak to actually turn the wrench, spanner.
Yeah, real life functional
and
and confidence.
And confidence, man. Like going into like watching people. Like, I always think about this when I go back to Scotland, right?
It must suck just like not being able to want to walk up the escalator.
Dude, it's just, it's just accepted. Like, I went to Germany, for the football this summer, and I'm like, I went to all the boys that I know from Scotland, and I bumped into loads of guys from Dundee, and it was great. And I was just looking at them going, fuck, you don't even know. And like, some of them were talking about, I used to do this and used to do that. And like, I was like, what did I used to do that I could no longer do? And I don't play football anymore, and I don't play rugby.
Front squat, 100 and something.
Still front squat pretty heavy these days for me. Like, I don't make any gains on it. I'm probably at the same peak as what I
know
was.
what you mean.
But I'm like, I'm still capable of doing it. I don't go to the gym and go, I can't do that. Sometimes my knee's not great, and that's fine. But they're talking about, like, I don't go and do this, as in, like, I don't go for a walk in the hills anymore because I can't do it because I don't feel like I've got the fitness or, like, the capability to recover. Just real basic stuff that I want to be doing for the rest of my motherfucking life. And I'm like, that sucks, man. That sucks. Like, the other day I was in Malaga, actually, as an example, and I met my mate. He's got a young kid and his wife, and it was quite warm. It was 24 degrees, not that fucking warm. And I was like, go on then, I'll walk you because I'm going into town. So he lives halfway from where we were, Pedro Galejo. He was going to Liminar. You know where that gym is, the outside gym, that's Liminar. And I was walking into town. And he said to me, right, we'll see you later, Gus. I was like, no, I'm going that same way. And he's like, oh yeah, we're going to get a cab, it's quite far. I was like, what the fuck? I can't carry my kid that far. His kid isn't even 2. I was like, what the fuck?
Stuff to think about.
That's mental. I remember carrying Eva, I remember going to Paris with her and carrying her for days on end. I didn't even think anything of it. I'm not saying I'm superhuman. That should be the normal, but it's no, is it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a dad, so maybe one day I will be. But yeah, fuck it.
Carry a bag a lot though, don't you? Yeah, same shit.
Just one that's
no,
static.
but like it's even like from a social responsibility perspective. Like, say somebody passes out on the train or whatever, and they need to be carried off the train, and there's like a bunch of guys sitting around there who are like noodle-armed, skinny fat, and like nobody can actually help this person.
Or like I experienced in Portugal the other day, like this elevator was broken. It took 10 minutes for people to walk up 2 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
10 minutes because they had a suitcase in their hand.
Yeah.
I was
I know what you mean.
My feelings on wheelie suitcases.
Yeah, I know your feelings on
wheelie suitcases, people.
People can sit on suitcases and they've got batteries and they don't even have to wheel them anymore. But having coming at this with a more empathetic perspective, this is the environment that we've created.
Totally.
Like this isn't like if this is not.
It's not your
You
fault.
can't even blame people for
No,
this.
the odds
This
are
is-
stacked against you, but you do have
There's
the
every- there's-
responsibility to do
Exactly.
something.
Personal
We-
responsibility
And the
is
information is out there. There's
Yeah.
3 semi-decent personal trainers talking about it on a podcast somewhere.
Online coach,
Online
personal
coaches.
trainers
I'm
is
actually
now
a personal trainer.
We're actually hybrids. It's a real clusterfuck. I am glad that we are born in this generation because I don't know how it looks in 100 years time. I just
not
think
looking good,
it's
is
everything's set up just to be a little bit easier, and like we talk about this a lot, leaning into the path of more resistance. Like hard what is it? Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. There is some truth in that, and yeah, I don't know how the environment looks in 100 years' time, but I bet it's fucking easier.
Well, I mean, life
than it is
expectancy has
now.
gone down for the first time, is it,
I
through
know,
this
that's
generation?
crazy.
That is
crazy.
absolutely mental. And you think about the medical advances
I
which we've
know,
made,
man, it's absolute
and
carnage.
the gap between
Good for us. That means we can get above average, hopefully, even easier. I feel quite good when we're
It's
70.
one way of looking at it. The glass is half full. People are dying earlier, and we're living longer. So we're like, yeah. I think it's the bit between longevity and health span, and I think that's the most important thing for people to understand. Is the quality of life versus the length of life. Yeah, length of life is starting to diminish, like maybe half a year, right? It's not going to go down that much more because medical advances will push it. So we'll probably keep our 82 to 84 for most people. But you think about this in terms of like the quality of people's life from like age of like 65 or whatever it is for retirement. I mean,
Yeah, do you just want to be
And
alive
that's-
because you're being
that's
medically
like
supported?
Such a substantial part of life, especially when you've like the first third of your life you've been fucking around. You finally realize a little bit more about life when you get to 30. I mean, you're not even there yet. You're living your best life.
I'm not going to make it.
You are like a cyborg, dude. You are advanced. If you make it to 30, which is unlikely, but you might do.
Tremendously
You might make it, and if you do, that's fantastic. The first third, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. The middle third, you're just like working your ass off, and then that final third, you're like, oh, I've retired, I'm going to kick back, and then you spend the last third fucking in such poor health that you can't do any of the things that you thought you would enjoy doing anyway.
that's the thing, isn't it? Like
All the money in the world.
all the money in the world just to bang into medical care and care homes. I mean, how about fuck that, right?
Yeah.
Right? You get to a point in your life you're actually earning okay coin. You start to bank a little bit. You've got an element, okay, where you can actually go and enjoy that time in which you've got off. But you can't do it because you're not capable. I mean, what? Imagine explaining that one to an alien.
No bueno. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. I am definitely going to try to live the life that I'm living now when I'm 60, 70,
man.
80,
Of
90.
course. Yeah.
I hope anyway. Just let's pray to God, don't get hit by a London bus or Alfie gives me some disease from just speaking
I need
with
to
him.
index it.
Yeah, okay, fine. Let's wrap this bad boy up. We didn't go over. I
didn't.
feel like we didn't
It's
go
good
over
though.
the
It's
health.
good. It was
The health.
fluid.
The health.
Fluid.
We didn't go over the health and fitness points. I had.
No, we didn't cover anything.
But it'll be like engaging conversation for people to watch. There'll be some good sound bites.
That's. Yeah, it will be engaging for like
should-
our family.
Exactly.
We should do this as often as we are capable.
Yeah, but this dick moved to the desert. Should we? Do we have to say anything when we finish this?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.